Hi, thanks for joining me. If you're watching the replay, thank you, and people are going to join in as they do along the way. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is a post from Facebook Live, hence my interaction may happen along the way. My name is Barry Selby. This is my ongoing series, conversations about messages from the masculine, and today this came up from conversation, I should say, a Facebook post from a friend of mine. So let me put down what that is, and then I'll explain more about where I'm going with this. A friend of mine was out with a friend of hers and enjoying a nice lunch. Her friend had a baby with her, and the baby dropped her, I'm not sure if it was a bottle or a toy, on the floor in the restaurant. And my friend said she looked around and there were three guys sitting close by. And she was kind of waiting to see if one of them would respond, like being a gentleman, and like pick it up. It's not a hard thing to do, just lean over, pick it up, give it back. And the two 20-somethings didn't respond at all. Eventually, one of the guys, the older guy who was sitting somewhere else, did lean across and pick it up. The thing was, and I get her upset, is the fact that she said, these 20-somethings haven't learnt enough from their parents when they were younger about being gentlemen. So that sort of triggered me to say something about this. Because as I support ladies in my work, and I'm a passionate champion of the feminine, that's my messaging, it's kind of clear that there are some things missing. And for ladies watching this, you may see some points about men that you would like to have better. And if you're men watching this, take a clue. This is really about you stepping up to respect the women. And I'm going to drop a little PS in there at the back end to remind me if I forget about a handkerchief. That's going to be another video later on. I'll talk about flirting, so another conversation. But in the meantime, let me back it up to the idea about being gentlemen. Men, if you're watching this, here's a reminder. We have a responsibility as men to live in honor of ladies around us. Not just your partner, your wife, your lover, ladies around you, as in all the women around you. And being a gentleman is not something where you have to be a tough or stuck up or fancy. It's a way of being. And you may hear that I'm sounding English, because I am sounding English, that you hear an English accent because I am English. However, I was raised basically working class, which is, for those who don't know, is kind of the lower end of the totem pole. So it meant that being a gentleman wasn't something that was trained as an upper class thing. I got it in my blood, in my DNA, in my bones when I was a kid. Because in England, I'm looking back and realize it's not true anymore, but back when I was a kid, which was a little while ago, being a gentleman was kind of natural. It was innate about how we respected women, open the door for them. I learned this as a kid with my mother. So let me pass along these ideas, these morsels to you other guys watching this, and the ladies watching, share with your men friends, as reminders, as clues, as simple steps you can take to act more like a man in the world, respecting women. So let's get to it. The most obvious one, I probably have said many times, I did a video about this a while ago, is that men, gentlemen, opening a door for a woman is a skill that we have, or a gift that we can serve, that is about respect. Now, some ladies out there think we're being disempowering to them, and I've dealt with that myself, where a woman will be so in her righteousness that she'll basically pull the door out of my hand and say, I'll take care of this myself, I'm good enough. And the truth is, she may have some chip on her shoulder about other men. I don't take it personally, because I'm doing it out of care of the woman generically versus that woman specifically. So one, opening the door for a woman is a sign of respect, appreciation. When you're walking with a woman, regardless of if it's your girlfriend or just a friend, walk beside her, not in front of her. Except in one situation, I'll get to that in a moment. There are certain people you see in the media who don't seem to respect their wives or their partners because they tend to walk 3 or 4 steps ahead of them. That's not a sign of being a gentleman, that's a sign of ego. And a lot of men out there could use a bit of toning down of the ego and step more into the masculine and being a gentleman. And that's, I'm realizing, is a topic I'm just dropping in your lap. There's a much bigger conversation I'm going to do here, but I want to get back to the simple things you can do. So opening the door, number one. Oh, the exception to that, indeed, I wonder who that could be. The exception is if you're moving with your partner, your girlfriend especially, but if any lady, into a very crowded room, we're trying to get through the crowd, or a less than healthy situation, maybe through, well, say the jungle undergrowth, but they may not find out very often, but in a crowded street, getting through the people. Sometimes it'd be nice for you to respect the woman to go ahead of her with her in your hands, you don't lose her behind you, so you can get through the crowd safely and protect her going through the crowd. Because again, being a gentleman is stepping into a role of honor, and protecting her out of service is a way of honoring her. So opening the door and also going ahead of her in the crowd, but also walking beside her in conversation is a way of doing it. So, by the way, I forgot about this. This is a Facebook Live, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're on Facebook Live watching, please feel free to share this out. I forgot you can do that. I keep thinking about when I do that Periscope, but on a Facebook Live, yes, you can share this out with your friends and followers. Another piece you can do for being a gentleman is be aware of your surroundings. This is the thing that speaks to what I spoke at the beginning about my friend in the restaurant. I would suspect these 20-somethings sitting at the table next to them were on their smartphones, faces down in their phones, unattentive. Have awareness of what's around you. This should be true for everybody anyway, but particularly if you're being a gentleman. Guys, watching around you, because the opportunity to serve can show up unexpectedly. In the situation I spoke about, my friend was there with her friend who had a baby and they dropped the toy on the floor. Presuming it was a toy, I don't remember exactly what it was. Any one of those men, as a gentlemanly act, could have simply reached down, pick it up, and give it back to them. Now, it's true, a woman could do it too, but I'm speaking about the gentlemanly conduct piece here. And frankly, we could all step up. I'm not saying I'm good at this all the time. I make mistakes. But I'm letting you guys out there know who have no clue, because some people watching this may need to get a clue, that there's room for us to improve, as men in general. So being a gentleman has positive benefits on your life, in your society, and on the women around you. So opening the door, walking beside them, being aware of your surroundings, so you can actually be proactive to step in. Things you can do for women when it's in colder climates. This is not something you do in the summer weather in LA. But help her on with their coat. Now, some women are concerned about this, about safety and security. So this is a thing about trust. And so it's obviously you do it with your girlfriend or with a relative, with your sister, close friend, co-worker, mother, that sort of thing. Being a gentleman means helping them with the coat, not just giving it to them, which is step one, because a lot of times out there guys don't even bother doing that. But giving the coat to the partner is one thing, but being more respectful is taking the coat by the shoulders, and it's a simple act. And I'm ready to make a paid course out of this. It's getting technical now. Is taking the coat and holding it by the shoulders so that she can slip her arms into the sleeves, one side then the other. I tell you, any woman who you do that for will appreciate you. This is not a sign, again, not a sign of disrespect. It's a sign of honor and service. And most women will be very grateful for that sort of treatment. I was going to give another angle. No, leave that one alone. That one is for more intimate relationships, so I'll leave that one there. Sorry, my mind goes 17 different directions when I'm thinking about what to teach and speak about this one. So that's another one. Oh yes, the car door. And this is something I've dealt with a lot because I'm not driving at the moment. So I've been a passenger a lot of times. And I keep forgetting this one, so I'm reminding myself as much as I'm telling you about this one. If your female friend is the passenger in the car and you're picking her up, or you're pulling up to pick her up, be a gentleman, get out the car, go around to the passenger side, open the door for her and let her get in. And then, when she's in the car, make sure her coat is tucked in, her dress is tucked in, close the door behind her. I see a lot of half-hearted gentlemen act this way, where men will actually open the door for their friend, or the girlfriend, or their partner, and leave it open for them. It's like, the idea is that you open the door for them to get in the car, you close it behind them, but checking first, make sure their clothing, like coats, skirts, dresses, are pulled in so they don't get trapped in the door. Simple, you know? Now, this is the one for bonus points. There's gold stars. If you're the passenger, if you're the passenger in the car and the woman is driving, and you come back to the car from going to a restaurant, wherever you go, be a gentleman and walk around the driver's side with her to help her get in the car. Same thing applies. Open the door for her, make sure she gets in. When she tucks herself in, close the door behind her, go around to the passenger side and sit in the car. This is a sign of respect. Now, ladies, if you want to do this, it's an option you can do. And yeah, that's the other thing, by the way, is help. Let me add a PS to that one. Thank you. I just saw a post from Sheila on my broadcast. If you're picking someone up from the airport, I hope, for God's sake, you're picking up a girlfriend or a woman. When you get to the airport, I hope for God's sake you get out of the car and you help her with putting stuff in the trunk. You know, just pop the trunk and sit in the driver's seat. That is probably one of the lowest forms of disrespect I can think of in terms of being respectful to a woman getting into the car. Is, yes, we are generally built stronger than women are, but it's not about that. Again, it's about respect. It's being chivalrous. It's about being willing to make yourself more uncomfortable to make her more comfortable. That's kind of the overarching arc of this conversation. For many women out there, when a man goes out of his way to serve and support her, she feels more comfortable. Let me give you another piece of that puzzle. But that one's true, yes. To actually not just open the trunk for her to put her stuff in, but help her bags, put her bags in for her, or help her with them at least. Do something like that. Now, if you're a Lyft or Uber driver, as mentioned in the comment I just posted, it might be nice to do the same thing. In fact, I've had that happen for me, and I'm a guy where a Lyft driver got out of the car and to help me put my bags away, which is kind of weird because I'm saying I can do it myself. But if you're a lady, maybe you feel the same way. I don't know. But I appreciate the guy at least offering. Walking down the street. And this is one that was reminded from by a friend of mine because I totally screwed up, so I'm owning this one. Walking down the street, gentlemen, you walk on the street side of the woman so that she's away from the traffic. It comes from medieval times and there's an old origin of this, but the truth is by doing so, you're being somewhat protective. Not that you could actually stop a car hitting her if a car hit the sidewalk, but it's a sign of just being able to be on the less clean side of the road, or sidewalk, so she walks away from there and safer and healthier and clearer, that sort of thing. What else is there? I'm just thinking of a few other things. If you get the theme here, there's a strong theme about what we do as men, or can do as men, in chivalrous acts for women, is not to go extremely radical in that, but simple little acts that include awareness, respect, forethought, and action that takes into account a woman being there. So opening the door for her, helping her with a coat, walking the street side of her. These sort of things are additive. And if you're a man out there and you want to attract a healthy relationship, you will become far more attractive if you exhibit these things naturally. So don't wait till you're in a relationship to do these things. If you're single now, practice. I keep forgetting once in a while, no, so I go back and practice and it helps a lot too. But this will help you. And yes, I know ladies so appreciate the little things. It's so true. Again, I may have to do a pay-to-play course based on this stuff because apparently so many men don't understand this stuff. I'm thinking it's so obvious, but then I did come from England, so maybe it helps. So that's kind of the bottom. This is the highlights. There's a lot more things I can come up with, and I'm sure people can post in the comments, and I'll post in the comments afterwards too, and the other things I can think of that would be additive to the list of things men can do as gentlemen. Yes, there's all the mechanical things around the house, but I'm speaking about out in public, things you do with women, even women you just met, like going to Starbucks or getting on the bus or other things. Is like being deferring to them. I travel on the bus quite a bit too, having no car at the moment. So when I'm at the bus stop, even if I'm there first when the bus pulls up, I'll step back and let the ladies go ahead of me. That's a sign of being a gentleman. So doing that when you're letting women go into the Starbucks ahead of you. Now, if women take advantage of this, you could wear men out on this one. So I'm just saying this is a respect-based thing, not not use men this way. But it's about respect. So when you open a door for a woman, you let her go forward ahead of you and then you go after her. Again, this is something you can do as a sign of respect. I think I've belabored this point long enough. These are keys you can use in your life, keys that you can do to be respected. And ladies, if you're watching this, hold out for a man who acts like a gentleman. Yes, I'm putting out a dare here or a challenge here. The ladies don't settle for less than you deserve. You deserve the best. You deserve to have a healthy relationship that deals with a man who respects you and honors you, which means you'll encourage gentlemanly conduct from him. That's about it. That should pretty summarize. So that's really my broadcast today. If you haven't been watching my broadcast before, I do Facebook Lives fairly frequently now. This is number 14 in a series called Messages from the Masculine. I just now uploaded them onto my website. If you go to barryselby.com, yes, there you go. If you go to barryselby.com/vlog, video blog, or vlog, yeah, it's VLOG. That's where I've placed all of these in sequence. So numbers 1 through 13 are there now. This one I get loaded soon as well. And hopefully this will help you with your love life and your way of being respected in the community. This is actually a societal message. Societal, not suicidal. A societal message to everybody about being in respect and honor. Ladies, you can do the same thing too. Oh, dropping a PS in the back of this one. I'll do another video on later about this. The handkerchief. I was having a conversation yesterday with a woman, which is from another conversation I had before. Ladies, we men, I'm doing a 30-second blast here, because I'll do a whole talk about this later on. But we men aren't as, what's the word I'm looking for? Intuitive as you are, yeah, generally speaking. So it's helpful if you ladies are interested in us to give us a sign. In the olden days, ladies would drop their handkerchief as a way for men to know they were interested in being flirted, or they were flirting in being interested in courtship. And for men, it was so to give us a clue. So if there's ways you can do that in an overt way, because we're not as sensitive as you are to pick up things, do something like that. The handkerchief, I'll do a whole video on this at some point, as this is just cliff notes. But it's such a simple thing, but it gives us men a chance to get a clue. And I just saw Evie pop in, and Evie, this whole video started because I saw your post on Facebook. So go back and start from the beginning and you'll get what I mean. So I'm signing off. If you just joined us in the broadcast, please go back and watch from the beginning. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching it there. This is my messages from the masculine in service. Sorry, let me try that again. This is messages from the masculine in service to the feminine heart. And these are regular talks I'm doing to inspire women and inspire men and raise the vibration of relationship. Again, my name is Barry Selby, known as the Love Doctor. You can find me at barryselby.com. And if you want to watch the rest of these videos, they're stored now on barryselby.com/VLOG. All right? Thanks for watching, and feel free to share this out and watch the replay, and I'll be back again soon. Bye.